Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi there, good morning. This is Chartbusters, a show where we highlight all the buzzing stocks of the day, get you expert advice on how to capitalize and trade on those stocks. All that packed in the next half an hour. I'm Bangla Malu. With me is Sumaira Abdi. Good morning, Sumaira. For the Nifty, we're holding above that 10,800 mark. Saved the blushes earlier. The SGX Nifty was indicating that we could slip much lower, but as of now, we have managed to hold on above that 10,800 mark. And at the same time, the Asian markets, they too have recovered. So the Korean markets, for instance, have now moved into the green, along with the Hang Seng, which at one point was low by about 200 points, now sitting with a cut of just about 100 points. And the Shanghai index too recovered about 0.5% from the lows. For our markets, Bajaj Twins as well as HDFC Twins doing a lot of batting.
That's true, actually. So compared to our Asian peers, and we're not doing too badly.
Absolutely.
We're pretty much in line with the rest of what's going on and doing a tad bit better than, say, Nikkei, Hang Seng, etc. But first up, our top stories. Idea falls in trade reports suggest that the Idea Vodafone merger may get delayed and may not meet the expected deadline of June 30th. Reports say the Department of Telecom is looking to raise a fresh demand of 4,700 crore rupees from Vodafone.
Infosys among top Nifty gainers today after the management gives an upbeat commentary at the 37th annual general meeting on Saturday. Nandan Nilekani says that strategically this is the best time for the company.
Oil marketing companies under pressure. Crude prices in focus after OPEC agrees to an increase in production.
ICICI Bank, that one declines in trade despite management clarification on the whistleblower allegations of issues in financial statements. The whistleblower has also questioned delays in filing of the 20F to the SEC.
IDBI Bank also in focus after Life Insurance Corporation seeks the government's approval to buy a controlling stake in the bank. Final call to be taken by the LIC Investment Committee, and post the completion of this deal, LIC will hold 51% stake.
All right, meanwhile, what is doing well for the markets are all the pharmaceutical stocks. So Cadila as well as Apollo Hospitals, both of them should come up for you. They've suddenly moved to the high point of the day. Along with that, we have the cement stocks, which have again spiked in today's trading session. So that's about individual stocks. How are the markets doing, or what is the way forward for the Nifty? Prakash, you had given a target of close to around 10,900 on the Nifty with a long bias. Do you hold on to that, as well as what are the levels you're watching out for on the Nifty Bank?
Yes, certainly 10,900 still is in the cards. What I said was 10,787 is a crucial support to work with. As long as we get dips until 10,787, they are buying opportunities. We have seen a very big up move on Friday in the last trading hour. So I wouldn't be surprised for a sideways action and a dip also. That's why a dip until 787 is a buying opportunity. It might go to 10,900. It may take today, tomorrow, or day after. But looks like we are still in an uptrend and the bias is still on the upside.
All right, Prakash, then what about the stocks you're looking at this morning?
I have two stocks. I'll go with Dish TV. That looks good to me. And Dish TV possible can climb to levels closer to around 74. May take a day or two for that again. Stop below 71 should be fine. Forming a base and up move has started here. And I like Sun Pharma. Today's pharma sector is doing well. So I have Sun Pharma. That looks good. Target on the upside is 597, 600 zones. Stop below 577.
All right, before we let you go, Prakash, a word on SRF. That stock, in fact, should come up for you, has now moved into the red, opened in the red, saw some purchase, and now seeing some selling at the high point of the day. In fact, if you pull up a longer term horizon, maybe a week or two, the stock was around 1900 just on the 15th of June, now close to around 1640. A lot of volumes picking up on SRF, some open interest built up as well on the short side. What's gone wrong with SRF on the charts?
SRF had broken down a very important level to around 1850 zone. Thereafter, it's been coming down. Today morning, we also saw some kind of a selling pressure. Delivery-based selling was happening in SRF. That's what we are witnessing on the charts as well. And possible target on the downside is in the vicinity of 1600. Only thing is, where do you put a stop? I think if someone wants to short it, can still short it, have a stop somewhere below the levels of about 1685 or so, and trade short side.
All right, Prakash, thanks very much for all your trading ideas. On that note, let's take a very quick break, come back in a bit, and up next we'll talk about the stock that's really moving lower, and that's Idea Cellular. We'll also talk about Tata Motors post that JLR Investor Day. So those are the stocks in focus and lots of news lined up next. Welcome back. Status quo as of now on the market. The mid-cap index, though, up about 0.25%. So let's focus on some of the stocks from that space. In fact, Idea is the one. Reports suggest that the Idea-Vodafone merger may get delayed as the Department of Telecom is looking to raise a fresh demand of 4,300 crore rupees from Vodafone. So the stock down about 6%. Rima has more on this. Rima, last week or just before that, it looked like it was almost coming together and close to completion, and now it looks quite far away. What's going on?
Yes, it's a setback for Idea Vodafone as the merger is getting delayed. So it may not even meet its expected deadline of 30th June. Because what reports are suggesting is that the Department of Telecommunications is looking to raise a fresh demand of nearly 4,700 crore rupees from Vodafone, which is related to one-time spectrum charges payable by the telecom company. Now, the background of this particular case is that in 2015, Vodafone had merged with 4 of its subsidiaries to create Vodafone India. At that time, the DOT had raised a demand of 6,700 crore roughly on account of that one-time spectrum charge. This was contested by the company. They went to the Supreme Court, and following the Supreme Court, Vodafone had only made a payment of close to about 2,000 crore rupees versus 6,700 crores that the DOT had demanded. So that balance 4,700 crore is now what the DOT is looking to impose on Vodafone Idea. So either they want the company to clear the dues, or perhaps at least give a bank guarantee to that tune. So reports also suggest that the Telecom Minister Manoj Sinha has learned to have asked the DOT to take a legal opinion whether this demand regarding this one-time spectrum charge dues can be sought from Vodafone India. But one thing or the other, it's has been dealing this particular merger between Vodafone and Idea at a time when its peers like Reliance Jio as well as Bharti have been ratcheting up the aggressiveness in wooing subscribers. So this is a setback nonetheless, which is putting pressure on the stock.
Absolutely, Rima. Setback nonetheless, putting some pressure on the stock. But Tata Motors, that's another stock that you're tracking today. The JLR Investor Day, where the company has laid out a comprehensive turnaround plan for JLR.
Yes, absolutely. So this was the first ever investor day by JLR. It was held in Birmingham on Friday. So some of the key takeaways are that the company has said that they're looking to grow faster than the luxury premium car segment over the medium term. They also spoke about margins. They've indicated that over the medium term, they're looking to maintain EBIT margins in a range of 4 to 7%. And over the longer term, which is beyond FY21, they want to raise the margins further to 7 to 9%. This would compare with 4.2 margins that the company had in FY18. That apart, the company also has laid out some aggressive capex plans. They're looking to invest £4.5 billion from FY19 to 21 on an annual basis, and thereafter they're looking to bring down the capex spend to sales to 12 to 13% over the longer term. This margin guidance has been spoken about by the company, but they've just given more color on how they will be able to achieve their margins and improve it. So they said there'll be cost reduction, operating leverages, as well as new launches. They sounded a tad bit cautious on demand. They said that FY18 sales growth was lower than expectation due to diesel uncertainty in EU and UK, Brexit, as well as cyclical slowdown. Also, the incentives were higher in the US, and the company said that they will not chase volumes in highly discounted segments, which basically could imply your competitive sedans in the North American market. So this cautious sound, this caution on demand could be putting pressure on the stock in today's trade. They've also planned 19 product launches in FY19 and 38 over FY20 and 21, and they expect the luxury car industry to grow at a meager 2.6% CAGR over FY18 to 24. But it could be the cautious commentary on demand, as well as the high capex, which will put pressure on their free cash flow, which could be exerting pressure on the stock today.
All right, Rima, thanks very much for that. Watch out for KRBL. The ticker has it there for you, down 18%. There are reports suggesting that the Enforcement Directorate is investigating the role that the KRBL director had played in the Augusta Westland helicopter scam. So that is something that's plaguing the stock, now down about 18-19% odd. But let's get back to talking about the news that's coming in. Infosys, that stock is gaining a bit of ground. They had their annual general meeting over the weekend, and this was CEO Salil Parikh's first, and he's laid out a 3-year roadmap for the company. Rukmini Rao reports.
Well, with Infosys celebrating 25 years of its public listing, and also, of course, Salil Parikh, the CEO MD of the company, addressing the shareholders for the first time around, he did take this opportunity to lay out his plan to the shareholders in order to kind of appraise them of the plan that he has for the company, the 4-pronged strategy that he has laid out, and also the 3-year roadmap really to get back the company on industry-leading growth. And of course, the chairman of the company, Nandan Nilekani, also taking this opportunity to really emphasize on the fact that stability is back in the organization. Of course, recounting how stability was perhaps one of the most important issues that was on the minds of shareholders when he took over as the chairman of the company. But however, in the last 1 year or so, the entire issue has been settled now in terms of any kind of discord between the management, founders, and also the various stakeholders of the company has been completely resolved. And with stability back, he of course went on to in fact tell the shareholders that the time has now come for the company to focus on growth, in which of course digital perhaps will play the key role, given the fact that this is the fastest growing segment for the company, and also close to 25% of the revenues of the company coming from digital. And of course, in the coming years, this is going to be one of the most key focus areas for the company to see their revenues growing.
Absolutely, Rukmini. In fact, there is also heightened investor interest in Infosys post the TCS buyback that has come about. And remember, it's been 25 years to Infosys listing, so the street is expecting something or not. Whether that comes or not, we'll watch out for that. But also hear out what the chairman Nandan Nilekani and CEO Salil Parikh had to say at the 37th annual general meeting of Infosys.
The last 9 months, we have done a lot of things, brought in stability. We have a united team, our focus. We have Salil has worked and come out with a very articulated and clear strategy. We have redefined the brand, and I think now the focus is on execution. We're all focused on execution. That's where the future is. I think shareholders will raise issues from time to time, and we'll deal with them. But I think the real focus is on our business. We want to focus on our business. We want to focus on our customers. We think this is the biggest opportunity we've ever seen. Our customers are undergoing enormous transformation and disruption, and we hope to build on this.
We created a strategy which is really resting upon 4 pillars. The first pillar is how do we build a new business in what is called the digital world. The second, we want to make sure that everything we've been doing for our clients so far in their core areas is further energized, and we are leveraging it with artificial intelligence. The third, we want to make sure that we expand the skill sets of all of our employees, and we provide an infrastructure that allows them to develop their own skills at the pace that they want as the market demands that. And the fourth, we want to make sure that localization in many of our markets becomes a part of our future, so that we become part of the new ecosystem as we grow, whether it's the US, in Europe, or in the Australian markets. We developed a 5-pronged approach on which areas to focus on. And this is a comprehensive architecture that we have built with our teams, with our lead of strategy, and with all of the management behind it to drive the future. In each of those areas, we have now constructed detailed service line structures that help us to guide how the future will evolve.
All right, well, the market is slipping a tad. So the frontline indices, the Sensex now down about 60-odd points, and the mid-cap index, which was up about 0.25%, has now narrowed its lead. So it's just up about 30-odd points. So that's 0.16% odd. A quick break. We'll come back with more. Also, Global Spirits is on our radar. The company has signed a JV for premium drinks. So all of those details lined up with the management. Let's stay tuned.
Welcome back. If you take a look at the banking sector, there's some divergence playing out there. Yes Bank is at the high point of the day. IndusInd Bank is at the high point of the day. So the private sector banks finding some favor. HDFC Bank too has moved higher as we speak. While on the other hand, we have banks like Bank of Baroda, you have something like a Syndicate Bank, as well as Allahabad Bank, all the PSUs, they're trending lower currently at the low point of the day. In fact, corporate-facing banks as well. ICICI Bank, for instance, has now extended its cut, currently trading at the low point of the day. Our ticker team alerting us about KRBL, the stock down about 17%. This comes in from the Sunday Guardian. We will keep an eye out on individual stocks, but the stock on our radar right now is Global Spirits, in focus after the company signed a joint venture with the former USL MD Vijay Rekhi, who is also the executive director in the company, for premium drinks. To discuss this and more, we have Shekhar Swaroop, the joint MD of the company, joining us now. Thanks a lot, Shekhar, for joining in, and cheers, if I may. You signed this joint venture with Mr. Vijay Rekhi. He is an executive director in the company as well. How does that work, and how much money are you all putting in this joint venture? When is the first rollout expected?
Hi, morning. So Mr. Rekhi and Globus, we sort of came together a couple of years ago to work on this venture. The idea is to look at launching premium brands of premium IMFL in India, the segment which is about 15 to 20% of the total volume of the IMFL industry in India, however, contributes to greater than 40% of the profit of the industry. And this is the space that we are playing in. We've already launched in Pondicherry. We've launched in Karnataka. A launch in Telangana is imminent, and perhaps also Andhra Pradesh this year. Thereafter, next year, we will, next financial year, we will work on some of the other markets as well. The idea of funding this business is mostly out of internal accruals. Because, you know, in Globus, the manufacturing business, the IMIL business, which is the core of Globus Spirits, it is a free cash flow generating business, and we want to use the opportunity in Unibev to use our free cash flows. Be that as it may, we are not averse to partnering up with financial partners who share a common vision, so that's something that we are open to as well.
Okay. Hi, Shekhar. Good morning. What's the incremental top line that you're targeting from Unibev, and also would this require any fresh capex on your part?
Like I said, this is the most profitable part of our industry. Our current contributions on our branded business tend to be in the range of 50 to 70 rupees a case. We are targeting north of 500 rupees a case in Unibev. These are, you know, gross profit levels. You know, the rollout is going to be gradual with, as I said, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra, and then some of the other states in the next year.
All right, we'll get to this in a bit, Shekhar, but just a word on Rajasthan, because I believe you have a fair amount of market share in Rajasthan. What exactly does it stand at? There are state elections this year, and we're getting reports that Rajasthan has imposed a 20% surcharge on liquor. Is that true? Could you clarify with us?
Yes, we've received similar information. So Rajasthan is our most important market, where we have about 30% market share on the IMI.
How much revenue of yours comes in from Rajasthan?
Back of the envelope, it would be around 40% of our revenue comes from Rajasthan. So this surcharge is levied on all IMIL, IMFL and beer products. It's on the retail price. So, you know, because it's an across-the-board kind of a decision, it will not impact any one company per se. It's something that will impact everybody. There could be some fallout on this on volumes. However, it's still early days for us to...
So basically you're confirming that there are reports that Rajasthan has imposed 20% additional surcharge on liquor.
Yes, I am confirming that, yes.
Okay. Shekhar, what about West Bengal then? I think their production started in Q4. How are things ramping up over there in that market?
Production in West Bengal started Production in West Bengal started Q4 of FY18 actually, the previous year, and things have fared pretty well. We closed last year with over 80% capacity utilization. Q1 in West Bengal is looking at about 95% capacity utilization. IMFL, our franchise IMFL business there with Diageo is doing well. We are scaling up to about 2 lakh cases per month with effect from July, August of this year. Our IMIL business there is, gradually gaining steam. We are important. We are an important player in the Kolkata region. I think we're at number 3 position currently in that region, and we're hoping to emulate that success in the other parts of West Bengal as well. So West Bengal has been very interesting for us. The other thing that happened during this period is that the government has allowed us to use grain ethanol for fuel blending.
All right.
And that's going to be a big
right, Shekhar, thanks a lot.
For our behalf.
Right. Thanks a lot for joining in. We will, I'm sorry we have to cut you off. There is some breaking news, and we have with us the joint MD of KRBL, that stock under pressure, fresh leads emerging as far as Augusta Westland, the defense case is concerned. One of the company's former directors named as well. Mr. Gupta, what do you have to say on this? What kind of communication have you received from the authorities, and how does that impact the company? Can you clarify to us?
Hello, I was not able to hear you properly.
All right, Mr. Gupta, so there is some fresh news coming, fresh leads coming in on the Augusta Westland scam, in which one of your employees or directors have been named as well, shown some links there. What do you have to say with regard to this?
Mr. Gautam Khaitan was an independent director in KRBL Limited from 2007 to 2013. And Mr. Gautam Khaitan was arrested for the Augusta Westland deal, and they inquired, they called me also ED.
Okay.
Since he was an independent director in my company, what type of transactions was happened with Gautam Khaitan. And we have given all the accounts, all the statement of accounts and everything, and KRBL is no way concerned in Augusta Westland deal.
So you're confirming that KRBL will feel no impact of this ongoing investigation?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And Mr. Khaitan, he was an independent director, but any other relationship that the company or its employees have with Mr. Khaitan, any financial transactions that the company has undertaken with Mr. Khaitan?
No, just some fees of 50 lakh, 80 lakhs of legal fees company must have paid in, that's all.
So barring director fees, you have no other financial relation with Mr. Khaitan?
No.
All right. Any other person in the company which has been perhaps called for any sort of questioning with regards to this case?
No, I have been called by ED.
You've been called with regards to Mr. Khaitan itself, no one else in the company?
Yeah, no one else.
All right, fine. That's fair enough, Mr. Gupta, joining us and giving us clarity that no person apart from Mr. Khaitan, who was an independent director of the company, has been called for questioning as far as the Augusta Westland deal is concerned. No real relation with the business transactions of KRBL itself. We see some recovery on the stock, which at one point was lower by about 18%. Now seeing a bit of recovery from the low point of the day. But this is a news that we will keep an eye out on. With that, we've run out of time on Chartbusters, but you stay tuned to CNBC TV18. Trading Hour comes up next.